My name is Nick Hahn. I was an arts educator for about 20 years. I have left the classroom and have been out of the classroom for about three, but there was something calling me back to this artist trading card thing. I don't know what it was. It ended up proving itself to not be super smooth. I don't know if it'll happen again, but I'm glad that you guys took a risk and joined in the fun.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Been in the classroom for like the past 12 years. Um, love when you decided to post that you were doing artist trading cards, I like jumped in it because I was like so disappointed that you quit a few years ago in artist trading cards. And I was scrambling trying to find a group and trying to put a group together myself to do it. So I've been doing the trading card swap with my students, gosh, for about 8 years. I partnered with another teacher in Maine, and we tried to get a group together from the list you emailed us before, Nick, like your contacts. So we tried to do that. And then I was really fortunate at the time I was doing high school students, and I found a Facebook group that did their first ever clay magnet exchange, like the artist trading cards.
Oh,
And we did that the last year. And that was amazing. That was a lot of fun. So when you opened this up, I was just so excited because I was like, yes, because I just recently started at a new school this past year. So I'm just doing elementary and just to let my fourth and fifth graders do this. And they were so excited. Like they have never heard of anything like this before. And they have been having just a blast with it the last few weeks that we've been trading.
Hi guys, I'm Heather Herbe. I've been teaching for 9 years. This is my ninth year. I came to teaching later, when I was in my kind of mid 40s. So I've admired Nick for a super long time, uh, and oh gosh, it was a number of years ago. I started an Instagram, and when Minnie BT started following me, I was like, oh my gosh. Anyways, I had the pleasure of going to one of the NAEA conferences with Nick and another our teacher friend, but knew of her artist trading card swaps, and I did participate in one of them um, back when she did like a whole zillion million people, and enjoyed it and just thought it was a great thing. And I was excited when I saw she was doing it again. Um, and so I did it again. So I am from Pittsburgh, PA, and I live in a suburb that's maybe like hmm, 15, 20 minutes from the city when there's not a lot of traffic. And I teach elementary.
Thanks, Nick. I really connects with everything Heather and Amy have already said, that I was super excited to see the ATC swap back again. I'm based in Hong Kong again. I first connected with Nick when I lived here before. I'm obviously originally from the UK, as you can probably tell, but I've been teaching internationally for, oh my gosh, it's crazy, about 27 years abroad. Elementary art as well. And I did the ATC swap, I think maybe 2 or 3 times with Nick when I was previously based in Hong Kong. And then I went to Vietnam, where I was teaching for 6 years elementary art again. And we did the ATC swap again there, and they just loved it. And it is so important for the kids this side of the world. A lot of them are away from home. You know, many of them come from the States. So to be able to
oh,
connect with artists from back home for a lot of them was really, really, really cool. And I just think the whole ATC swap concept is just brilliant. I think, you know, aside from the developing craft, just connecting with art communities, it's so important for the kids. So I'm really grateful to have this opportunity again. And I'm on a gap year in Hong Kong. Hong Kong's kind of home for us. My husband and daughter were born here.
oh,
So we've taken a year out. We've come back here, and then we're off to Bangkok in August for our next international posting. So thanks again, Nick. It's been fantastic taking part. The school I've just been working at, Luckily, the cards arrived before I finished my contract, and I was able to share those with students. And it was their first experience of swapping. They've absolutely loved it. They're already asking when the next one is. So I think you've touched a lot of people around the world, Nick. Thanks for all your hard work. And just really great to meet you all.
Hi, I am Katie, and I am outside of Boston. So I live a little bit north of Boston, a town called Melrose, and I teach a little bit north of that in a town called Middleton. I do 3 to 6, and I have a class that I call Artivation, and it's like innovation and art like mixed together kind of STEAM, project-based learning, lots of robotics and coding and crazy things. But I also, in the afternoons, I teach enrichment classes of small groups of kids, like 10 to 12 kids, and they get to self-select which kind of classes they do. And so I offered the artist trading cards as an enrichment this year. So I had 4th grade group and a 5th grade group, and there was about, I think like 10 and 11 kids in each group. And I did do it before during the infamous 2020 year. That was my first year doing it. So I think I didn't end up giving them out until the year we came back to school, but I did pass all those out. And then this year I actually haven't passed them out yet. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how I'm gonna give them out, because I don't actually have those kids in a group. So I have to sort them myself, I guess, because that enrichment's over. And we have new things, so I'm still trying to figure that part out. But it was really fun, and I have enjoyed seeing all the cards that have come to us. So I'm excited to pass those out. I think I'm gonna like photocopy all of the cover sheets that went with them, and then give each child their cards like wrapped up in a cover sheet or something. So I'm like, that's what I'm thinking about. But anyway, I'm excited for that.
Hi, everyone. I am from Gippsland, which is a regional area in Victoria at the bottom of Australia. We have about 360 kids in our school, and I teach from prep, which is sort of our first year of school, through to grade 6. I participated in this I think it was 2016 or 2014, I can't remember which one, but I was actually on maternity leave when the cards arrived, so I never got to see the handing out of it all. So I'm very excited for that part. I'm actually on leave again at the moment, so the kids have to wait another 2 weeks before they get the cards again, which they have been hounding the poor teacher that was looking after my classes. But sorry, you have to wait for me. I did it with the whole school, but only picked the year 3s and 4s to send cards over, which much to the rest of the school's disappointment. But I've loved it because it's engaged every single student in the whole school. They were all thrilled to be a part of it. And we had lunchtime trades. The kids were swapping them with big kids and little kids. We've had our youngest kids and our oldest kids there have a buddies program, so they were doing little swaps together as well. My son, who's at my school, has been making cards for months, and he's still got a little collection going. So it's really reached everyone that we've worked with. So I was really thrilled when you said, "Oh, Nick, yes, you can join in on this one," even though it was supposed to be just for US people. So yeah, really excited. Most of the kids were wanting to know if anyone lived near Taylor Swift. That was kind of the biggest thrilling point. And we also had a couple of students that had lived in Hong Kong, so they were really excited to see those kind of connections too. So yeah, thank you. We're really looking forward to it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leah. That's my 21st year teaching elementary art. I teach in Elk River, Minnesota, very close to Nicole. We had the privilege of teaching on the same team for quite a few years. I miss her now very much, but somehow we're trying to make it without her. My favorite part was getting all of the cards in the mail, for sure, from all of you. Every time I would get a package, whatever 4th grade class I had, I would open it with them and kind of do like a little unboxing or whatever, and they thought that was just great. But then when it came to giving up the cards, that was harder for me because I just fell in love with all of the cards that you guys made. They were all so beautiful. and I certainly did snatch a few for myself. So, but I just wanted to show you. So we did, oh, sorry, maybe you can't see because I blurred it. We made some extra ones with so my son is in 4th grade. And his entire grade is who we traded with. So it just made it extra special because my kid was in the group. And I had all of the kids make extra cards. So they traded within their classroom, then they traded within the grade. And for the special trade, I said the male trade, they only, of course, got to pick one card. And then when we were all done, I said, okay, now, if you want to trade more, you could. And it was just fun to hear them like why they wanted to barter. And they're like, well, I'll give you 2 of the 4th grade ones if you give me that one from Hong Kong. And so it was really cute. It was just an awesome experience. So I'm very thankful.
I was wondering how everyone went about giving them out to the students. And like, Katie, was it you said you were going to wrap one up in the cover sheet? I thought that was a great idea, but I was curious as to how people have gone about that.
I think I'm just gonna pick them myself and just like randomly try to like pick them from different groups. Because I have like 20 students, so they'll get more than one because we sent each child sent 2 from my groups. So I'm gonna try to arrange like a couple from different people and then wrap them up that way.
I haven't divvied mine up yet to give mine out this time. I'm kind of saving it for like the end of the year. But in the past, when I did it, what I would do is kind of like the cards would be turned over. Like I'd have them turned over in my hand and I would just have a bunch and it would just be like picking just randomly picking. So I found that worked the best. And then we would kind of like go around and just share a little bit. And then what they could do afterwards is do kind of what Leah was saying, like you then like bartering for like, who if they wanted, oh, hey, I'll trade you mine for yours, it's kind of like that kind of a thing.
I was going to say, I also made copies of those cover sheets and I had them available if anybody, even though they only got one from the different places, I said, if you want to bring these home and share with your families, kind of anticipating that not many kids would take them, but a lot did. So that was kind of fun. They were really excited to all get the cover sheet, even if they didn't have one from that place. So thank you everybody for doing those.
For like our big art night, I took a picture of all the cards before they were mailed that I kind of shared with the group. But then what I did was on the map, I kind of put a little red dot. So then off to the side, there was a map where every where all the other cards were coming from. And then I had the schools and all that. And then I had it made into a really big poster. And so it's hanging in our 4th grade wing. So then what I ultimately am going to do is then hang the sheets that you guys all sent with that, and then just kind of have it's like as a big hall decoration kind of thing.
I've often done the same thing as well with like a display element so that the community, even the ones that didn't make cards, can see. I think that's a really great way of sort of extending the community of the swap in a way, isn't it? And I've also done like a gallery walk as the main, like, let's view what's arrived kind of scenario. So normally I would group them with the sheet, the cards that came from each school, and then space them out physically around the room. And then they have to go and find on the map, well, where is that in the world? But like Heather, I also have always gone with kind of a blind trade in the end, where the cards they have to pick and then they can trade later with someone if they want to. But I do find, especially when you've got bigger groups, that it avoids some of the disappointment. And a lot of discussion work. It's a great reflection tool, isn't it? For like looking at the different levels of skill that different age groups will have, why that is, looking at the different media that people have used, and also thinking about the stories behind them, because sometimes it's not always obvious, but just like imagining the person who made it, what were they thinking about when they created that? I think once you start getting into that, who created this card element, I think the disappointment is lessened a bit if they didn't get the exact card they wanted, because then it becomes more human to them. It's like a real person made this somewhere else around the world. And I find that's always helped when maybe there's one or two that haven't got the card they'd hoped for. And also making a few ourselves of extra. I had a little group of open studio students who would come in at lunchtime and make more cards. And over time, I'd sort of introduce the idea to them that maybe we could have these as an additional trade if anyone's a bit disappointed with the card they get. So even sort of introducing a few of our own cards to that, I think has helped a lot as well. And ultimately, they're just so excited. I think that initial disappointment soon dissipates, doesn't it, once they get caught up in the trade itself?
Well, this year, since I had all my 4th and 5th grade participating, I have 3 classes of each. I kind of got all the cards in and kind of just divvied them up equally. And then whoever gave me a card to mail, they got the first choice as to pick from the group. But I also created, again, a visual out. I have it out outside of my room, a big bulletin board. So I hung up all of your information sheets with the map, and I had strings going from the map of where you are in the world to your sheet of information. And then I hung the little pockets, the trading card plastic sleeves underneath, and I had all the cards in there. And so I would change them out daily to kind of get them excited about swapping. So because I'm also right by the bathroom, so everybody takes a bathroom break in my hallway. And so they would come and see and go, "Ooh, when's that one coming available? When's that one coming available?" And then of course, we made lots of extras. I made them make as many as they wanted. And as soon as we swapped with our mail-in cards, then everybody else got to swap. And that also gave me a chance to collect. So I had a big box that said, okay, if you want your card to go on the board to swap with the other 4th grades or the other 5th grades, then let me know. I'm going to put it on the board. And so the next class would come in and they'd have all these new cards from the class that I saw the day before. So they would take their cards out in the hall and swap and pull them from the sleeve. So it was kind of this ongoing kind of independent, them going to the board, deciding what they're going to put in, take out. And then they go back in the classroom and they'd start trading and say, "Hey, I'll swap you that one for this one," or "I just got this one." So they were, out of everything we think we did this year, taking home those cards was like the key thing. Like they could not wait. Like, when do we get to take these home? When do we get to take our sleeves home? And I'm like, you can take them home. I said, but just remember, if you take them home, you're done trading, because they're like, yeah, well, some of them had their cards like completely, like 18 cards in one little sleeve back and front already filled by the time we were done. So they were so excited.
One year I'm thinking about when I was in Vietnam, we had the cards arrive from your trade right around student conference time, which was great timing. And so I had a whole wall dedicated to the cards that were up there, and we had the iPads out. We used Seesaw at the time, and the students had to explain to their parents how this experience of creating this mini artwork and then sharing it with someone else around the world, how did that connect to all the learning they've done that year? And it was the most mind-blowing experience for me, because it was student-led conference. I just had to stand back and listen. And it really, really convinced me of the power of trading cards, because I hadn't realised the depth with which these kids had taken on board the whole experience. As an artist sharing their work, how powerful is that? It's not just shared with their family, it's been shared around the world. And we had some students who connected this idea with, remember when Banksy's artwork shredded at Sotheby's at auction, and the students were talking a lot about this at the time, and they talked about how this was like being at auction. Their card would be discussed with other people around the world, and people would be bidding for it, and they wondered if their card could be as powerful as that moment in art history. And I was nearly in tears listening to some of these conversations. So I I think it's not to be underestimated, is it? We think it's just this exciting moment, but actually, who knows what element of the students' reflection is, going to be touched upon through this. But I just wanted to share that because it really stuck in my mind as a very powerful experience. And, the parents listening to this as well, it's like, wow, it just seemed like they were making a small artwork, but actually, it was much bigger than that. And obviously, that's what art's about, isn't it? Making those connections and communicating and expressing yourself. So, yeah.
This is just a beautiful group. I'm so glad. And I wish that everybody could have made it tonight, but that's okay. We all have busy lives.
So are we doing this next year?
My answer was no at the beginning of this Zoom, but we'll see. Maybe. Let's leave it with maybe. Thank you, Amy, for that question. Luis, what part of the school year are you in right now? We're at the end.
We are in term 2, so we started in January. Yeah, so I sort of started off at the start of the year. It was perfect timing. I was able to get things going quickly. Yeah, I think the previous time we did it, it ended up being the end of the year that I sent them off, and so it was the following year when they came to us, and that, well, I don't know what happened there. I wasn't there, but that was a little trickier. But yeah, this one worked great for me.
No, we're kind of the same as the States, really. We're towards the end of the year, and having done numerous trades with you, Nick, I would say that this was probably my favorite timing, really, because it's not too close to the year that it feels stressful that it might not be wrapped up. It's far enough away from Chinese New Year that it doesn't interfere with, our calendar there. So I loved the timing personally. Okay. And it was really great, that you gave us really clear deadlines for when it would be good for Louise and I to get them into you. That really helped me stay on track and make sure that we weren't leaving it till the last minute, because you never know with post from over here. So yeah, thanks for all your organisation. I thought it was really fantastic and really helpful, because it takes a bit of the strain off us. But I'm wondering, maybe the people on this call, maybe we could help take the strain off you. If you did do it again, we could be like mentors in the background next time.
I love that.
Because I do think it's a huge amount of work for you. And I think, if people were new to it, it would be great to have some voices from here that could say, hey, we've tried it like this. How about doing this? I just think, you've got a community here to support you if you needed that. So thank you for all your work. We appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
Just as a kind of support network, I'm thinking, not nothing official, but I'm good for it if you need any help. I'm always there. And I'm sure, we're all really grateful for everything you've done again this year. So
thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Nick. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.